is a friction problem. It's a long one, but it's important for us to cover it just to make sure that we are all on the same page. So we have this one of the problems at 8:33. We have this man, his weight is 200 pounds, pushing horizontally on the crate. If the coefficient of static friction between the box and the ground is 0.3, that's μs, that's static. And the coefficient of friction between the shoes of the man and the ground is 0.6. We would like to find if the man can move the crate or not. So in these problems, the most important thing is to be able to draw a correct free body diagram. So I would like to break this into two parts and two free body diagrams. So we will draw one for the box here and one for the man. And if this happened to be in your exam, the most important thing is the free body diagram and that you have all the forces correctly on the free body diagram. So let me start with the box. If I want to draw the free body diagram of the box this way here, remember the box has a width and a height, and I will start with the external forces. Let me do them in blue. So I have P, right? So that's the first force. That's an external, an acting force. I know that I have a friction force that should go in the opposite direction, right? So that's F1. Good with these? Also, I should have another force, which is the normal force, correct? Now, here's what's going to happen. Usually when we do this, we're going to assume that the weight is going down, right? Of the box. And that is 450, correct? 450 pounds. Why did I put the weight here, this direction, in this location? Centroid of the box, it's in the middle, so it should be there, right? Correct? So that's W. I have it. Now, the only thing left to add to the box, to this free body diagram, is the normal force that is acting because of the ground, because it's going to prevent movement down, correct? So that's normal force. Now, here's the thing. Usually people will put the normal force on the same line of action of the weight. However, see P, the subject is pushing on the top of the box, correct? So he's not pushing on the middle of the box, the centroid, which means that there should be a moment to prevent tipping of the box, right? So in order to do this, as an engineer, when we analyze this, you need just to put your force, the normal force, oh sorry, let me put it in a different purple, should be here, right? That's the normal force, with a distance small x from the line of action of the weight. Because it's going to create a moment to prevent tipping, right? If I assume that this is a point here, so let's say I assume that I have a point, and I'm looking at the moment around that point that is going to be tipping. So you need to have your normal away a distance x from the line of action of W. Right, let me just draw it in a much better way here. So, from this box, right? My P is up, right? It's not in the middle or the centroid. So it might cause a tipping. So I have a friction here, that's up R. I have a W going down. I need to add the normal force here, where I have the distance, small x, and that's my normal force. Does that make sense? Is it clear why did I move a little bit away from the line of action of the weight? Just to prevent tipping, so that it does not fall. Okay? And that's very important in friction. 202. Are we good? Now, for this feedback diagram, summation force on the x-axis should equal to 0 if I'm at equilibrium. So, what do I have in x-axis? To the right, positive. Correct? So, I have Fr minus P equal to 0. That's the first equation. Right? We don't have anything else in the x-axis. Now, for the y-axis, equal to 0, up is positive. I will have normal force minus W, which is 450, correct? Yes, 450. Equal to 0. That's number 2. Correct? Yeah. I have a distance here. So I'm going to look at this point. So let me do the friction here. Right? So if I would like to look at the moment, so if any tipping is going to happen, it's going to be happening around this point. So summation of moment should equal to 0. That's positive. CP here is going to rotate clockwise or counterclockwise. Counterclockwise, so that's positive P, and the distance from here to this point, how much? Correct? Is 3. That's where 0 is. This is where 0 is. Tipping. So now N is going to rotate this way, correct? And that is going to be negative N multiplied by X equals to 0. That's my normal. The point where around it I need to measure the tipping or not tipping. Yeah? Awesome. Now, from this one here, from equation 2, I know that N equals 450, correct? Right? So you can plug this here. You can say the moment, which is 3, you have P multiplied by 3 equals 450 multiplied by X. Thanks. Now, here's the point. All of these, we have a lot of unknowns. I don't want to find them all at once, but I need to construct my equations of equilibrium. So that's the most important thing. I was able to construct how many equations from the first feedback diagram? 3. Right? There's one more we can construct. If there's going to be any movement, or if we want to see if the subject is going to be able to move the box. So it's about to move. So we can use my friction, right, equals mu s normal. Right? Do you remember this formula? It's mu s multiplied by normal. So Fr is going to be mu s for the box is 0.3, and the multiplication of the normal force is 450. I'm constructing the equations of equilibrium just to make sure that the box is not going to tip, and the other thing is that I'm putting you my friction force. So it's all about constructing equations of equilibrium. Let's hold on to the friction for a while, and let's continue with the free body diagrams. So I was able to build the free body diagram of the box. Let me see if I can build the free body diagram of the subject. U force P is going to be like this, right? So if I'm pushing P on the box should push back on the subject, right? With the same magnitude in the opposite direction. So that's going to be P. So let's say this is the subject. I have a friction force. Now, let me put you, there is a W going down. How much is this? 200, right? I should have a normal force going up. The subject is not going to tip because it's pushing, right? He's the one creating the force. So I'm not going to have a small x below it. So I'm going to put n on the same line of action for the weight. Where do you think the direction of friction should go? Remember, always the friction is opposing the movement. Toward the box. It's correct. If I'm pushing this here, my leg is going to move that direction, right? Correct? So the friction should go in the front. That is the thing about this problem. That's the trick about this problem. That your friction is not in the direction. So you're working with the subject himself, not with the box. So if I'm pushing, my body is going to move that direction, or my legs. The friction is will be in the other direction, opposing that movement. So that's where my friction. I'm going to call this FR2. Let's call this FR1. And that's your 3-by diagram. You don't want to do any. We don't need these. Here, done. So this is my 3-by diagram. All right. So let's construct the equations of equilibrium for the body. Forget about these values now. I just want the equations, right? Those are the most important thing in the exam. Constructing the equations of equilibrium. So for the second structure, I will have summation forces the x-axis equal to 0, summation forces y-axis equal to 0, positive is going up. So what do I have in the x-axis? P is positive, mine plus of R2, correct? Oh, it's the other way, negative, sorry. Because of R2 is going in that direction, P is going. Y-axis, what do I have? I have the normal 2, yeah, to be consistent, that's normal 1. Normal 2 up minus 200 equals 0, correct? So that's 3, that's 4, that's 5. 5 equations. Does that make sense? We good? So I was able to construct 5 equations. Now, for the friction, equations, first thing, we're going to say that I have if we are going to be about to move, friction of R1 should equal mu s multiplied by the normal 1. Correct? And FR2 equals mu s bar, which is the 0.6 for the shoes, right? Multiplied by N2. That's 6, that's 7. So here you put 0.3, and here you put 0.6. Now, how much is N1? N1 is going to be 450 from this equation, and N2 from this equation is 200. Oh, we don't want it. Oh, hold on. That's important. Before doing this, multiplied by N2. Yeah. keep it this way for a moment.